Hey guys, it's me, Rusty78609 in Central Texas, USA. It's 10:55 a.m. Central Standard Time, and it is Wednesday, December the 21st, 2016, and it is about 50 degrees outside, and it's supposed to be 70. Nice. And I'm in my RV, my 26-foot bunkhouse RV. I have full-time RV, done it for 24 years. And I also go camping in a car. If you're interested in RVing or camping in a car, check out my playlist on my home page. It'll save you a lot of problems, a lot of tips there that'll help you. Anyway, in my continuing quest for interesting subject matter, I have run across a comment just came in today. This is what you would call hot off the press. It says, will you please look into the Sondors, S-O-N-D? He's got it spelled S-O-N-D-E-R-S, but it's actually spelled S-O-N-D-O-R-S. Sondors electric car offering and what you think. Thank you. Actually, I'd never even heard of them. Okay, I mean, I live out here in the middle of Central Texas in the boonies, and we haven't even heard of rockets yet. So, but be that as it may, Sondors electric car. It actually is gonna. It's kind of like the Elio, only it's all electric. Okay, it's a three-wheel vehicle. It's really neat looking. Check it out. You can go to sonderselectriccar.com, I think. Yeah, Sondors, Sondors electric car. I had never heard of it. They do this. They do fan funding or whatever they call it. I don't know what you call it. Where they you I can't remember what they call it. Anyway, uh, yeah, you can invest. It says it's $12 a share. If you invest, you're betting the company will be worth in 33 million in the future. Our mission, blah blah blah. They always have a cute mission, but anyway, the key facts of the car are this: $10,000 plus retail price, and the range starts at 50 miles, and then I think it goes up. It goes 50, 100, 200-mile range, and you pay for the range you want. Okay, so for 10,000, you're going to get a 50-mile range, and I imagine for 15, you're going to get 100, and for 20, it'll be probably 200 miles, and it's going to be 0 to 65 seconds. You can charge it with a regular 110 or 240 volt Apple Android smartphone or tablet is the dashboard. You got me? Your phone becomes the dashboard. You choose a color: white, black, blue, silver, or red. Sold online and delivered to your door. Included 6 tools to repair yourself or use the Sondors app and get service. Anyway, so what you're looking at here, in my opinion, is an Elio, sort of. Okay, now this guy has actually produced a product in the past. Now he makes, I found out, I didn't know this either, so this is all new to me. But he also makes an electric fat tire bike that's got a range, if on just electric, if you didn't pedal at all, of about 20 miles. And if you pedal every now and then, of course, that increases the distance. But that's really fascinating. And that bike costs about $500. And I didn't know that. That could come in handy if you were pulling an RV and you had that little electric bike on the back and you had to run to the local grocery store to get something where you could hop on your little bike and you wouldn't have to have a tow. Something to think about. Could you get by with an electric bicycle? I don't know, possibly. But anyway, uh, it's interesting. Now, the question he asked is, evaluate the deal, and that's hard to do because, it's whenever it's a startup, it's an Elio, a Tesla, or any of the others. It's either the light switch is going to go on or off. That's it. You're not going to hit a in between with these guys because they got to sell to make money. And as far as this guy's got some experience with electric products. In that he has sold uh, the bicycle And the bicycle to me is extremely fascinating. You've got a, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, the range. Yeah, the range. And this is on the bicycle now. The bicycle says many riders can, always a key word, can experience a varied range of up to 30 to 50 miles. So that means cut that in half, 15 to 25. Okay. When using straight electric power without pedaling, the range can fluctuate to around 20 miles. And then, of course, both range estimates are contingent upon rider and their weight, wind speed, terrain. So, of course, I understand all that. But the bicycle weighs 53 pounds, okay? And but it's pretty interesting. And of course, the temperature outside is going to affect it, just like in my Prius. It's a hybrid. It's got batteries. And when it's cold, the range goes down. So on a cold day, you'd have to bear that in mind. But the bicycle is interesting. It's $500 approximately. You probably could get one cheaper, used one. That fascinates me. Now the electric car that Sondors is going to make, and again, it's Sondors, Sondors. And this guy, I don't know how long they've been doing the bicycles, but the car is extremely interesting. I mean, and he makes a good point. Your smartphone will be your dashboard. It'll electronically monitor everything. Anyway, he says, as we did with our electric bike, our plan is to cut out all the unnecessary costs. And you can pre-order it online, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to haggle with a salesman. You won't even have to leave your house. They deliver the car to your doorstep, which is great. I'm sure all that's going to cost you a few nickels. But anyway, it talks about the growth of the electric car bit, and it is. The electric car market is going to be huge. The downside of the electric car market is the batteries. The range. Everybody's got range anxiety when it comes to electric cars because you're cruising down the highway and you run out of juice. There's not a charging station on every street corner. And for me, I live in Central Texas, and it's a long way to anywhere, so it probably wouldn't be of any use to me at all. But is there a market for a $10,000 electric car that gets approximately 50 miles range? Hard to say, man. Hard to say. Maybe for you guys that live in cities that have a short commute, say 10 miles or less, yeah, it'd probably work out for you pretty damn good. And if you got one with up to 100-mile range, of course you got to discount that because I checked into the Nissan Leaf, and it supposedly has a good solid over 100-mile range. That's not true. I know some people that have the Nissan Leaf, and if they get 80 miles, uh, they're lucky. Okay, and that's not a lot of range for me to go from where I live to go buy groceries and back home is about 35 miles round trip. Okay, and so for people like me, probably not going to be too interested in it. My suggestion is are you a gambler? The guy that made the comment, if he's a gambler, if this guy, if you like to go to Las Vegas and bet on the things that have the high return, the high odds games, then you'll like this Sondors because that's kind of what you're getting into. I certainly wouldn't put a lot in it. It depends. When you're young, you can take high risk. Okay, you can. You can jump in there high risk, and if you lose everything, you can just keep working and recover. Okay, just beware of the hamster wheel of life. You just keep running, running, running. But anyway, for anybody that's interested in uh, the all electric cars, check it out. I mean, I'm not too optimistic about Elio anymore. I'm really not. I mean, they may make. They've been at this for about 6 years, maybe 7. I'm not sure. And they just keep wanting money, 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 but they ain't producing, 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 producing. Okay. If they had some cars in production, I think they've got a total of 5 cars that they've actually built. That's not very impressive. And the deal in Louisiana, the factory that they were supposed to hire employees and have there. So far, based on what I've read, there's nobody there. But anyway, back to Sondors. What do I think? If I had some money to just blow, in other words, basically what you're going to do, you're going to pick up a handful of dollar bills and stuff it down the rabbit hole. And what you're going to hope is that this guy produces and you get your money back plus a little fair return on your investment of, in this case, since it's high risk, it's going to have to be high reward. So, you'd have to get almost 50% return because you're running a hell of a risk, but be that as it may, there's no answer to this question. There's no right answer. No is not the right answer. Yes, go is not the right answer. It's totally up to you, the individual, whether or not you want to jump in on this thing. This guy does have a little track record because he's funded and built bicycles that have sold all over the world. I don't know how profitable his company is because I couldn't find anything on that. Maybe it's out there and I just haven't found it yet. But the bicycles that he makes, I think they're neat. I do. I mean, I'm fascinated by that. I wouldn't mind hopping on an electric bicycle and riding around my neighborhood. Would I spend $500 to do it? I don't know. I might. I might. You know. And it says you get speeds up to 20 miles an hour, or you can meander on your favorite trail, cruise on the beach, da 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 da. Yeah, so it's kind of it's interesting. I'll just say that it's interesting, but it's Sondors, Sondors, and they make a bicycle, an electric bicycle that weighs about 50 pounds according to the specs here, and they go from anywhere from 4.99 to 5.99. They got big tires, which I guess is okay. I don't know much about that. But anyway, back to the electric car. Uh, Says you can only buy Sondors online. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. They're going to cut all the middle people out, and it's really a neat looking car. I have to say that. And they're going to start in at $10,000 on a vehicle that gets a 50-mile range, and there's a chance. A chance. That's all I can tell you. But be that as it may, it's just interesting. I like interesting things like this. I like these entrepreneurs that do stuff like this. I really do, because they hire American-made. They hire people in the USA. It's an American-made product, so I guess it is. It doesn't really say. It doesn't say where it's being built. Yeah, it says the prototype will be built in the United States. We designed this car in Malibu, and our engineers are from around the world. Da 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 da. Apparently it's going to have a lot of software, but be that as it may, I've gone on about it enough. But check it out. It's a crowdfunded. That's what they call it, crowdfunding. It says Sondors electric car is a Title III regulation crowdfunding campaign and is actively accepting investments. That's the end of that. And if it's kind of an Elio thing. I mean, I would give this guy a little more favorability than Elio, because Elio started with a gas engine type vehicle and had no background. I think he was a taxi cab driver. And this individual, this Sondors, has a background in at least producing electric vehicles, even though they're bicycles. All the electronics are the same. Okay, you got a battery, some wheels, some kind of you got to charge them and all this stuff. But anyway, they've raised 758,000. They got 1,170 investors. Oh no, I'm not sure if I'm reading that right. You got to invest $120 minimum, which is 10 shares, I guess. And they got a $1 million goal. Well, of course, you might as well have a billion, doesn't matter. But be that as it may, I've rambled on enough about that comment. But thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. And for you people that are interested in electric vehicles or taking a flyer on a high risk, possibly high return investment, check it out. It's again, it's Sondors electric car .com, I guess. Doesn't say. But be that Sondors, and you got it. And see what you think. It's a damn good looking vehicle. I will say that. I mean, would I buy one? Shit, yeah. I guess. 100 miles? 100 miles maybe. 50 miles? Not good. 100 miles? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye bye, bye, USA made when you can. Take deep breaths, drink plenty of water, breathe through your nose, not your mouth, stretch, walk, do all that stuff. But anyway, get them, Sondors. See what happens. Thumbs up, guys. Another topic. Thanks. Bye.